So still waiting for suit from the last episode. We'll find them.
Units in the vicinity.
Units, officer needs help. Bank of America 7th and Olive. Officer needs help. Bank of America 7th and Olive at 211 in progress and shots fired. Unit to handle code 3, identify.
So, we're actually getting our case. But I think we're going to do that little quick.
If we survive this, it's gonna be a miracle.
Kill me?
Maybe a miracle if you don't shut up. There's maybe a miracle if you shut up. Actually, there's one mini-map.
Units, officer needs help. Bank of America 7th and Olive. Officer needs help. Bank of America 7th and Olive at 211 in progress.
What's the situation?
Half a dozen shooters, sir. Cold-blooded sons of bitches. Real professionals.
What do you mean?
Witnesses say they bounced in, aced the guards, and went straight downstairs. Christ knows who they're working for, but whatever's in that vault, they want it bad.
Isn't that a road partner?
Pick the wrong bank to rob, my friend.
Fired to the... Code 3 identified.
Come get me.
Just feel the officer down.
All units, officer needs help. 415 and shots fired. 313 Bunker Hill Avenue. 313 Bunker Hill Avenue. Unit to handle code 3 identified.
Whoa there!
You know the way. You can drive. Can you drive to this one? You know the way. You can drive.
That's like 5 seconds or something. So it's only to see if... I remember this case. Looks like the ones that I know.
Greetings from sunny California. When's it going to stop?
The bum took a swipe at me. Put him down with my sap.
thought I would say that. I seriously what other takes to do.
Can you drive to this one? You know the way. You can drive. You're behind the wheel. You drive. I need to go over the case notes. You can drive.
When he said won't talk, like, okay, we're going to check the rooms.
Can you drive to this one?
Can you actually drive to the right location? You guys know I hate driving. It's because the car is doing this crap. Hopefully as the years go by, or the months, we get better cars, nice new fast Ferraris maybe.
Again?
So I don't know what any of this means.
I think his name is Phelps. I read about him in the paper. What on earth is that man
Stripped off me
doing?
at the grand jury. Case got thrown out. Now the DA wants my head.
stupid elderlies.
I swear, this town is going straight to hell.
Isn't that the cop that caught the guy that was pretending to be dead?
I survived the war for this? Ah.
The women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
Great. You drive. I need to go over the case
getting
notes.
around in this thing, Cole?
You're behind the wheel.
Great. How are we going to look getting around in this thing, Cole?
We're going to look like paramedics.
This officer needs help. Bank of America, 7th and Olive. Officer needs help. Bank of America, 7th and Olive. A 211 in progress and shots fired. Unit to handle code 3. Identify.
You've got to be kidding. We're
Car
driving
11K
this.
responding. Go ahead.
11K officers need help at the Bank of America, 7th and Olive. A 211 in progress and shots fired. Code 3.
So what way is it? Yeah, don't worry, down here. Sorry.
What's the situation? Half a dozen shooters, sir. Cold-blooded sons of bitches. Real professionals.
What do you mean?
Witnesses say they bounced in, aced the guards, and went straight downstairs. Christ knows who they're working for, but whatever's in that vault, they want it bad.
Means I've got to send as much men as he knows. As he knows.
Pick the wrong bank to rob, my friend.
Move inside. We've got to clear out the bottom floor.
Come on, make a push for the building. I'll lay down some suppression fire.
I got you now.
They hired good soldiers. They're using, the cops are using guns against you. A revolver, a pistol.
They blocked the goddamn stairs. Detective, take the elevator.
All right, I'll wait here. Don't give them a chance to regroup.
Wish me luck.
Those jammed area.
Buddies upstairs are dead. That leaves you, pal.
Come on, Cole, what's taking so long?
Real clever, asshole! I'm gonna rob you! As soon as he pokes his head out, we step on it. Your move, mister! Come get me!
You can live to tell the tale.
Your move, mister. Come get me.
That's it. That's all of them.
Yes. Detective Cole Phelps keeps saving the day again and again and again and again.
Great. How are we gonna look getting around in this thing, Cole?
Car 11K. Shots fired, suspects are down. We're code 4 here, but I need an ambulance at Bank of America. 7th and Olive. Notify coroner and detective headquarters.
Roger, under ambulance 11K. All units, code 4 on the 211 and Bank of America. Code 4.
Start the case so we can understand what's happening.
Good morning, gentlemen, and what a grand morning it is, too. We have just cause for celebration. Galloway and Phelps are sending another fiend to San Quentin. A nice showy trial, and he'll be strapped down with gas seeping into his tiny reptile brain. Now, to fresh business. Galloway and Phelps, the task is at hand. The address is on the hill, north downtown off Fremont Avenue.
Skip. Is the new letter genuine?
Now, boys, we all know how many imbeciles have confessed in the short case. Ray Pinker will let us know in good time.
Yeah, I'm thinking of moving up to a 45. I want to stop him with one round.
And I just want to look at everyone's face right after I look at everyone's face. I'll leave.
You think the Vice boys get any on this side?
The thing was, he was a really nice guy.
A fine morning indeed. We keep locking them up, but the bodies keep piling up.
Yeah, Californians love a fad, Phelps. As long as the bricks hold up at San Quentin, there'll always be killers in this town to sing.
Greetings from sunny California. When's it going to stop?
You can drive.
First the letter, and now another body. Come on, you can't keep on telling me there's not a killer still out there.
You know, Phelps, all these arrests on your record are giving you a reputation. You don't want them turning into unsolved.
Getting a vicious killer off the streets is more important than my reputation.
Really?
And besides, landing a big fat marlin is more impressive than an ocean full of minnows.
The minnows maketh the man, Phelps. You can't always hit home runs. Sometimes you just gotta make first base.
Detectives?
Phelps and Galloway, homicide.
Scene is secure. The rest of the patrolmen are going door to door, canvassing for witnesses.
Thanks. Keep me informed.
Will do, Detective.
This looks awfully familiar.
I think that's the impression the boys from the Examiner took with them as well.
There's nothing original under the sun. Why should murder be any different?
What do we have so far?
Not much trace evidence to speak of. Storm blew in around 10 last night, and the rain washed most of it away.
And the body?
Looks like she was tipped out of an automobile from the tire tracks and superficial injuries. Strangled with a length of rope. And for my money, it's triple braid again.
Time of death?
From her temperature, maybe 2 a.m., but it was cold last night.
Usual head injuries.
Blunt force trauma. Knock him over the head, then strangle and mutilate. No message with this one.
At least she was left clothed.
I doubt very much he was concerned with her dignity.
The green silk dress is very distinctive. Any sign of her other shoe?
No. And no handbag or other personal effects.
This looks much similar from a different case. All covered in blood. Yeah. Blood on the arms. Scratches on the chest. It's just the same.
It would take a smarter man than me to connect that.
Find anything interesting?
Doesn't give me anything to go on.
No drag marks. Killer was moving around, surveying the scene. Our driver and our killer are most likely one and the same.
Detectives, I've been working the houses across the street and up the block. This lady thinks she has something for us.
Detective Phelps, LAPD.
I'm Mrs. Barton, Catherine Barton. I live just across the way.
Did you see anyone around here last night?
Not last night, but yesterday, early evening, I saw that awful hobo.
Do you have a description?
Tall, gaunt, horribly disfigured. I think he may have had an accident in the war. He's a very scary, angry man.
Any idea where we might find him?
One of the hobo camps around here. He's some kind of hobo leader. They all follow him around.
Thank you, ma'am. You've been a big help.
Of course. Anything I can do to help. I'd hate to think that something so ghastly could happen right here and nothing be done about it.
If there was no handbag, the hobos would rob her.
You know, putting this remove the element of surprise from your hit and runs. At least the rain stopped. You can change back into those white bucks now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Missing persons reports for white females over the last 48 hours.
One moment. We have 3 white females listed as missing, Detective. Myrtle Douglas, 294 Whitmer Street. One Beatrix Rogers of 1152 West 4th Street. And a Mrs. Teresa Terrellson, 43 Emerald Street.
Can you track down reports of hobo camps in the vicinity of Signal Hill?
Just a moment, Detective. There's a large camp under the bridge on Grand between Temple and Sunset.
Thanks for your help. You're behind the wheel.
Continue the response.
Jesus, missing persons reports. We're gonna be at this all night.
I think we ought to investigate the hobo lead.
Well, if you think we ought to, then I guess we ought.
Actually, might not be a bad idea. The hobo must have been looking for someone to murder.
Calling Father. Leave me alone. I fought. Where's my wife? No one cares about me. I took a
We're
bullet.
looking
No
for
one
a
cares
tall
about
man
me.
with a disfigured face. You know him?
Huh? What? I fought in 2 wars, you know, son. I think I earned some peace and quiet.
The bum isn't here.
Look at these people.
We should follow the
Leave me
lead.
alone.
These guys can wait.
You can drive.
Yeah, there's 3 people. We may just probably put 3 people in jail. Just the murderer and the when I searched the missing person.
Hello? Yes?
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. Is your wife home, sir?
My wife went out last night and she hasn't come home.
Can you describe your wife and what she was wearing?
We were out at a friend's place, Bobby Ross's, for a party. She was kind of dolled up. She had her green silk dress, open-toed white shoes. Those are her favorite shoes.
Can we come in, Mr. Tarleton? I'm afraid we have some rather bad news. Do you have someone who can look after your children, Mr. Tarleton?
I've been trying to arrange a sitter. Look, tell me what's happened.
I'm afraid your wife was murdered last night. Her body was found this morning. We're very sorry for your loss. I know this is a difficult time, Mr. Tarleton, but we are going to need you to answer some questions. First, we're going to take a look around.
What for? You don't think
It's
that...
procedure. You see to your girls.
Stay here till Daddy's finished talking to these men.
Where's Mommy?
Everything's gonna be all right, sweetheart.
We would like Mommy to come home now, Daddy.
What's the problem, Tarleton? Let him search. You got nothing to hide.
Operator, give me
Want to hear
R&I.
something funny, Tarleton? Some bums think filling out a missing persons report actually rules them out as a suspect.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Can you run an address for a Bobby Ross? Then send some uniforms over.
Would you like him picked up?
No. Suspect says he was with Ross last night. We need to confirm the alibi.
I'll get a prowl car dispatched.
Thank you. If you'd excuse me, ladies.
I don't think so.
Lars was out in the rain last night. So she went out without her handbag?
That's not a handbag. That's a purse.
Too slow, Rusty.
I'm busy here, Phelps.
I could see if Pinker can match the impression to the crime scene.
Still got chickens.
At least she was spared that particular indignity.
have to be in quite a state to leave this behind. I'll be out of your way momentarily, ladies. Need to check if she was a regular. For the record, Mr. Terrellson, what is your wife's name?
Teresa.
Do you have any idea why anyone would want to hurt your wife?
No. Everyone loved Teresa. She was so full of life. It can't be anyone who knew her.
So you don't know anyone who would want her dead?
No, I don't.
You said you went to a party at Bobby Ross's place?
That's right. Bobby had a bunch of people over. We were having a good time. She said she was bored and decided to leave.
And?
I was playing pinochle with some of the guys. Teresa had a few belts too many. She said she wanted to go out dancing.
Mr. Terrellson, was Teresa happy at home?
Yeah, I think she was.
Spill it, Terrellson. We like the look of you for this, so you better give us something.
We're at the party. She has a few and says she wants to go out dancing. We only have the sitter until 9. I get mad. I tell her to go ahead, but I'm staying. She storms out. Look, I'm doing well at cards. I hardly ever do well. I married her because she was so much fun, but now she drives me fucking crazy.
What time did she leave the party?
About 8:30, maybe a little earlier.
When was the last time you saw your wife?
Around 8:30. The card game at Bobby's was wrapping up. I played out my hand and drove home here. Paid the sitter and went to bed.
In sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, Lars.
And you're the perfect husband, I suppose.
If Bobby Ross doesn't confirm your story, we are going to come back here and pick you up. This doesn't look good, Lars. Appreciate your time, sir.
You believe this guy's story?
Kind of rings true. You know the way. You can drive.
I think Arsenal means it will be like fighting most of the time.
Between the tuna fish and the chicken.
Gents, drink?
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD.
I'm Benny Clough. This about Teresa Terrellson?
Yes, it is.
I heard about it on the radio.
God damn it.
Yeah, I rang that husband of hers. The babysitter said he was out.
If you don't mind, we have a few questions. What time did Teresa leave?
Around 10:30, I think.
On foot? In a car? By bus? How was it?
She called for a cab.
Did you get the number?
Sure I did. The only time she has a drink is when things aren't going so good at home.
Put out an APB on the cab. 3591. Should be traceable. Who was she with? We've had reports about a tall, gaunt-looking hobo. He wasn't here last night?
I get plenty of bums in here, but nothing to fit that description.
You've never served him?
Not a chance. By the sound of it, he's the type of bum you send packing right when he walks through the door.
Any idea where she was headed?
Nope. I didn't get that.
Or maybe you just won't share. You sure no one slipped her a Mickey Finn, then took her back to their place?
Not in my bar, goddammit. You got any proof of her being doped in my bar? Yeah, I thought not. I keep a tight rein on what goes on in my place. Make sure you don't go spreading that idea around.
You want us to catch the guy, sir. We need information, not cute answers and delaying tactic.
I do my best, goddammit. What do you want from a guy?
Any of your regulars know the broad?
Ask him yourself.
LAPD, keep your seats, boys. This won't take a second. We can't let the son of a bitch get away.
Waitress. Can I get another...
Go, Phelps, get after him. Come on, we got a ride. Get in and drive.
I thought you were gonna leave me there.
Who knows what this guy will pull when he's cornered? We could have a killer on our hands.
Come on, Phelps, you're letting this lust get away from you.
I don't think the killer would be kicking back in the bar where he met the Vic in.
God damn it, get after him, Cole.
I thought you were gonna leave me there.
Who knows what this guy will pull when he's cornered? We could have a killer on our hands.
Hit him! Clean this asshole off the road.
I don't think the killer would be kicking back in the bar where he met the Vic in.
Listen, a creature of habit is your killer. For some reason, they're sticklers for routine.
Phelps, you gotta get me closer. Hit him, Cole. Spin him out. I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck.
Let's end this farce.
All right.
Name.
Richard Bates. What is it you want?
I'll ask the questions. Firstly, why did you run?
I don't mix with cops if I can help it.
Last night, you went drinking with a lady in the bar. Now she's dead. And your face is all messed up.
I'm in the clear on that. She preferred a sailor. You could lay it off on him. Are we finished?
Do you want my partner to sap you? Tell us what we want to know.
She was okay. Drunk. Pissed off at her old man, wanting to go dancing. I thought I'd ply her with a few drinks and get my end away. Looks like your Salty had the same idea.
So what happened when you left the bar?
Sailor boy laid one on me. A cheap shot. After that, I don't know.
You've done time, haven't you, Richard? Is that why you ran?
I'm on parole.
On what offense?
Sexual assault. Look, I was lying there on the sidewalk. He flags a cab and jumps in with the broad.
We're taking you in, Bates.
How come?
Just for a chat. Nice private chat. I'll explain my theory of once a degenerate, always a degenerate.
Take him to Central. He's a material witness in a murder case. Find him a cozy cell.
Richard here knows the drill.
You can drive.
And where exactly are we going? Call 11 King to KGPL.
KGPL, go ahead, 11 King.
I need an APB out on a yellow cab, number 3591. Relay all sightings to 11K.
Watch it, will you?
Who's going to search the cameras? No, again.
Jesus, Phelps! Hey! Phelps!
Do you ever shut up?
Could we try not killing the people that pay our salaries?
I'm just going to sit in the rows looking for the cat.
Officer needs help, 103 MD.
Just go easy, Phelps.
The only reason some
What's
people
your
get
beef
lost
with
in
this
thought
guy,
is because
Phelps?
it's unfamiliar territory.
LAPD, I need your car,
I
now.
find one goddamn ding. Hey, isn't that the cop who solved
Help
the
me
big
out.
case and got promoted?
Any ideas?
Call in that cab number. Put out an APB. We'll have the whole force on this case.
Can you drive to this one?
Fine. Where are we headed?
You're behind the wheel.
And where exactly are we going?
You know the way. You can drive.
Fine. Where are we headed?
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
And where exactly are we going?
Can you drive to this one?
Fine. Where are we headed? Cars that just been paid. Leave him be.
Police emergency, out of the car.
Hey, what are you doing?
You can drive. You drive. I need to go over the case notes. You're behind the wheel.
I think it might be. I think this might be a guy. Go.
He's in interview 2.
Thanks. What do you make of him?
Sailor on furlough who looks like he's in trouble and knows it.
I say we bust in there and find the goddamn evidence.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an APB out on a yellow cab, number 3591. Ask dispatch to relay all sightings to car 11K.
No problem. I'll get on the radio.
Were there any incident reports filed in the vicinity of Barron's Bar on North Beaudry Avenue? We're tracking a sailor who was involved in a fight outside the bar.
I can check the reports, Detective. I have a message for you from Captain Donnelly. Message reads, James Jessup, U.S. Navy able seaman, has information relevant to your case. Jessup is currently being detained at Central Station.
Could be our man.
Thanks, ma'am.
I'm telling you, it'll never stick. And you'll get
Detectives
roasted.
Phelps and Galloway. We know why you're here, Jessup, so it would be best if you answered our questions truthfully.
I don't want any trouble. That's why I'm here. I heard on the radio about this lady getting killed. I got leave from my CO to come down straight away.
So why did you kill her?
I didn't kill anyone. Look, you need to believe me.
Let's start at the beginning. You went to Barron's Bar. What time did you arrive?
I got a 24-hour pass. I got there around 7.
That's where you met Teresa Terrellson?
Sure. We had a couple of drinks.
And you started talking.
She looked good in her green dress. Up close, she was a little older than I thought, but like I said, I only had a 24-hour pass.
You had a fist fight with Richard Bates over Mrs. Terrellson.
You met the guy? He's a creep. You should take a look at him for this.
So you were defending Mrs. Terrellson's honor?
Yeah, something like that.
If your story doesn't check out, Jessup, we're hanging you out to dry. Can you put the guy in 2 in a cell and inform the commander?
Sure, Detective. Got a message for you. Sighting of your disfigured hobo on Grand between Temple and Sunset. And it looks like the Beau has a record, too. He's wanted in connection with 2 female assaults.
Thanks.
have to.
You can drive.
Hurry up.
3 suspects in the can and 1 on the hoof. And still no hard evidence on any of them.
We're looking for a tall, disfigured man at the camp.
Could be difficult. Most bums look deformed to me.
Come on, Rusty. This isn't gothic fiction. Hobos are just like you or me. They're just men who've fallen on hard times.
You ain't much of a detective, Phelps, if you think a hobo's like me. Clue number 1, how do I smell?
Of alcohol and stale sweat. You know, I may be onto something here.
Very funny, Phelps.
Is that funny, Phelps? If I was to pick my favourite character out of every game that I've made on this channel and on my other channel, be sure of it.
LAPD. We'd like a word with you.
Save it for someone who's interested. They're fascists. Come to move us on and steal what little we have left.
6 rounds won't get us far. I need you to stay copacetic, Phelps. You need to hold out for the cavalry round.
How do we do that?
Like this. Buck shot to keep him down, Phelps.
You want your rightful share.
These men know they're harboring a murderer.
We need to fight for it.
What's your name?
Comrade Stalin.
Very funny. We'll find out from your personal effects.
Stuart Ackerman.
You're under suspicion for murder, Ackerman. We're taking you downtown.
You can't do anything more to me than what the Japanese have already done.
The Kremlin's over here, Phelps. Toss it, see what you find.
Looks familiar. Safe bet it'll match the mark under Teresa Terrelson's chin.
Not everything here is going to be relevant.
You know the way. You can drive. You know the way. You can drive.
Footprints and then another footprint. So it took me with it almost an hour and 5 minutes. This case is hard. Questions answered. There's something else to this place.
I wonder why the picture was turned down.
Probably just because she was doing her hair or something.
Probably nothing.
Probably just spare purses. I mean, if you ever get robbed, you will have to have spare money. Need spare money. So. Is that a crime to have too much purses, Phelps? You've got to be kidding me.
Doesn't tell me anything.
Phelps is probably a little kid.
I doubt it.
It's like a fake fishing rod and that. Probably trained her to fish. Phelps is probably trained her to fish.
Incidental.
Advice?
Search the place. We need something on this guy. Something that'll stick.
Children.
Junk.
Junk? When I was a kid, I used to play games. They call me junk.
Nope. I'm at a loss.
Search the place. We need something on this guy. Something that'll stick.
Looks like a match with the ligature marks.
Teresa's trail leads right to this cabbie's back seat, Phelps. We need to find it.
You can drive.
I recognize that guy from the papers. He's a cop.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Read about the woman who stabbed her husband and then pushed him in front of the car? That's the cop who caught her.
You can drive. You can drive. Can you drive to this one? You're behind the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like something's not right now in this little case. Oh, fuck. You know what? We can just drive into the train. Some sort of...
Nothing significant.
The door has a...
Don't think this is any use to us.
Ackerman doesn't look like much of a dancer. You know the way. You can drive. You're behind the wheel.
Rusty.
Husband has an alibi, but no real... Can you drive to this one?
We have the evidence. We know she was here. All we need is a confession, and we can charge the bum with murder. We're going this way.
Ackerman, you were in the Marines.
How do you know?
The Corps selected big guys for flamethrower duty. That's how you got the burns.
Life expectancy was 5 minutes for a guy in flamethrower detail. What kind of a government puts weight like that on a man's shoulders?
You'll get no argument from me. It was a heavy load.
You feeling sorry for this smelly fuck?
Why did you kill Mrs. Terrellson?
I have no recollection of the people I have killed.
You hate women, Ackerman?
More than you could ever imagine.
How much did you hate Mrs. Terrellson?
I ache to put my seed in them. Afterwards, I have no use for them.
A bus driver dropped Mrs. Terrellson near your camp around 2 a.m. Why did you take her up to the hill?
Which hill? I have many places. I go where I please.
You are clearly insane, Ackerman. The state of California does not execute mental patients.
I don't know the names of the women I've killed, but I've killed many of them. Their necks are so fragile.
Stuart Ackerman, I am charging you with the murder of Teresa Terrellson.
A man down on his luck I can abide. But a filthy red who chooses to live outside the rules of society, I cannot stomach. Maybe poor Teresa Terrellson will provide the catalyst we need. I've spoken to the chief and the mayor, and I think it's time we send some men in to remove the godless and send them on their way over the county line. A grand day that will be, gentlemen. And a grand result you have brought me. You two are fast becoming my finest crusaders.
What do they mean by spectacular?
the flames in me. And now my heart's a blazing ruin. You say that you were only fooling. Don't walk away. Don't do me wrong. Don't leave me singing this torched song when I'm burning.
Of course we will look into it. Yes, I'm aware that it's an election year. Keep a hold of your hat, Counselor. Now is not the time to lose your nerve. It would appear that someone has hocked a rose gold wedding ring and matching engagement ring. Sound familiar?
Deirdre Muller.
Press the pawnbroker and see what you can find out. The address is 348 South Main Street. The Muller case goes before the grand jury next week, and the DA does not want any egg on his face. Then get out to the railroad depot on Santa Fe Avenue. We have another poor unfortunate found this morning beside a railroad line. 40-year-old white woman.
Right, Skipper.
I'm going to memorize your name.
Another body, and Deirdre Muller's ring. The Emperor may soon have to come to terms with the fact that he's wearing no clothes.
When exactly did you get that book of riddles shoved up your ass, Phelps? Is that what your old man paid college tuition for?
You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
Can you drive to this one? You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
You've got to admit, this is looking odd.
Anyone could pawn a ring.
But if you take it along with all of the other indicators...
Cole, Hugo Moeller was identified by the school's groundkeeper. He's our guy.
Witnesses have finger...
You're behind the wheel. You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
He ran, for God's sakes.
And he always maintained he was set up.
This game could never get any annoying because there's no shooting in it anymore. Armed and Dangerous was the only mission that you got to shoot out with hard band tracks for it so far. I've not watched the whole series stuff, so.
How can I help you boys?
Detectives Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. You have a rose gold wedding and engagement ring?
David Bremner. Am I gonna get something for this pledge? Gave that bum money, now you guys are gonna leave me short.
How much did you give him?
50 bucks?
Try another number.
20?
Try 10. Feel lucky you're getting it.
I have the rings right here.
What's this mark here?
Maker's mark. Usually traceable. That one came from Hartfield's Jewelry down on Broadway.
Thanks for the tip. this mark mean anything?
Hallmark. Gives you an idea of the quality.
What have you got on the guy who brought these in?
Goes by the name of Percy B. Shelley. Gave an address. 15 Poland Street, London, Tulare County.
Can you give us a description of the man who pawned these rings?
Not sure. Medium height, medium build. Dark hair, I think. Sorry. He just had one of those forgettable faces.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Bremner. You can drive. We have a problem.
We could have the local troopers check out the Tulare County address.
The address is bogus. Purpose having fun with us. The guy who's been sending the Dahlia letters is also the guy who pawned these rings.
How do you figure that one?
Percy Bysshe Shelley wrote the poem that came with the Dahlia letter. If the Dahlia letters are genuine, then the man who killed Elizabeth Short may have also killed Deirdre Muller.
And how do we prove that, Phelps? Skipper ain't gonna like this one bit.
We're gonna have to rely on this guy tripping up on his own vanity.
This makes some sense. Why are you cute?
You boys ready? Follow me.
We should keep this development with the rings under our hat until we speak with the captain.
We're all on the same team, Rusty.
Chain of command, Phelps. The skipper will decide who needs to know. You got it?
I get it, Rusty. I just don't like it. Hard, isn't it?
Yeah. I look after all the rail depots.
What have you got?
The Negro, Nelson Gaines, called it in. I came down here to make sure him and the other guy, Jameson, stuck around.
Jameson found the body?
Something like that. Guy makes me sick.
We'll talk to the coroner. Keep an eye on both of them.
Doesn't look like anything.
Another missing ring.
Certainly seems I've been swabbing a lot of bare fingers recently.
If there's another missing ring, where the rings have been pawned, obviously.
What have we got here?
White female, approximately 40 years of age, lipstick smudges on the face, but no writing, at least nothing legible. A blunt force trauma to the temple, nose, and eye regions. Ligature marks point to the probable cause of death being strangulation.
Any idea of the time of death?
From her temperature, after midnight would be my guess.
Just at the morning. Seems like you.
Maybe someone at Mensch's will remember her. This is a chit for personal items, not booze. It's an angle worth investigating.
could go over to the lot and see what they know about her.
That's going to be difficult, Cole. Keystone Studio lot closed back in 41.
Someone was trying to get her to come home. Detective Phelps, LAPD homicide.
John Ferdinand Jameson.
We need you to answer some questions, John.
If you don't mind, I prefer Ferdinand.
Don't push your luck, knucklehead.
What were you doing to the body, Ferdinand?
Are you sure you won't be upset?
Try me, Ferdinand.
I was kissing her. It's not against the law.
Shut up.
There's no
Take
law
your
against
beating
it.
like a man.
Turn out your pockets, Ferdinand. Classic Carmine.
Why would you throw it out in your cell?
Is this yours, Ferdinand?
No. I found it near her purse. I thought she could use some lipstick.
Rusty, stop! Don't hit him. You went through her purse?
It wasn't like she needed it. I took a look.
You found her lipstick. What did you write on her body?
What are you talking about? I didn't write anything.
You found the body?
Yes, I did. I work here. I was coming off shift and headed home.
You just came across the body?
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
You're under arrest, Jameson. We'll see how this plays out. Until then, you can think a little on how you'd like to be treated if you were found dead.
I'm telling you, it's not illegal. Me and some friends of mine...
Clyde, when you get this sack of shit into a cell, I'll deal with him later.
Sure, Rusty.
If you want a full report, you have to let me work.
Detective Phelps and Galloway, homicide. Can you tell me exactly what happened?
We were shutting cars over to the main line when I saw this man here lying on top of this woman. The woman wasn't moving and seemed to be in a bad way.
What time was this?
About 7:30 this morning, sir.
Thanks for your help. Have you given Patrolman Hart your detail?
I have, sir.
Thank you. You can go now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address on Levine's Liquor. Closest store to the Santa Fe Avenue rail yard, if possible.
Just a moment, Detective. Closest store would be the one at 939 South Hope Street.
Thanks. Can you drive to this one? You know the way. You can drive.
Can you drive to this one? You know the way. You can drive.
Gently.
Can you drive to this one? You drive. I need to go over the case notes. You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Read that those goddamn Chinese want to sell the relief food that we're sending them?
Yeah, I read about that.
Those people are starving. They can't do that.
Want to sell the food to fund the civil war against the communists.
Really? Guess that's okay then.
Armies can't fight without food. Spend all your money on weapons, but you still have to have the will to fight. Fortunately, the Reds will win in China.
Watch your mouth. You know what you're saying?
The people of this country overthrew a king. You think the Chinese will balk at an emperor if they are starving?
Yeah, I'm sure I just broke my chair. Actually, the back of my chair just fell off. So I know I wasn't leaning on it. So, lucky for me. And just went in the ground there.
Drink, fellas.
Phelps, Galloway, homicide. We need to ask you some questions concerning Evelyn Summers.
I'm Walter Mensch. Evelyn Summers? What is it now?
You knew Evelyn?
As well as I wanted to know Evelyn. She's a pain in the ass, always coming in here, cadging drinks, never had any money. She was in just a couple of nights ago.
Did she ever tell you where she was staying?
I don't know. I think she was living rough. She had that kind of stunk about her.
Who did she drink with?
A bunch of these guys. Ask around.
What's your name?
Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Mind if I ask you some questions, Mr. McCaffrey?
I'm just a starving writer, detective. What do you want to ask about?
Evelyn Summers, and why she was found beaten and strangled in the rail depot on Santa Fe.
Okay. I see your point.
How well did you know her?
I can't say that I knew her. It was more like I was aware of her.
Did you see Evelyn last night?
No. I was at home. Writing.
Do you want to get dragged into this, McCaffrey? Do you want us to get interested in you?
She hung out with this powder puff, James Tiernan. They haunted the public library together.
How well do you know James Tiernan?
I know he works some kind of plebeian job at Rawlings Bowling Alley.
Rawlings. I know that place. Corner of 9th and Graham. A lot of cops bowl there on Tuesday nights.
Do you have a criminal record, Mr. McCaffrey?
Nothing serious. I've had a few skirmishes.
But nothing reprehensible.
No. The odd parking ticket. That kind of thing.
Thank you for the information, Mr. McCaffrey. You know the way. You can drive.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Not hidden.
You a friend of Evelyn Summers?
Who's asking?
Very cute. You know who's asking.
I know my rights.
You don't have any. Answer the question.
Evelyn mooches for drinks. I don't have any time for that.
Was that so hard?
Keep writing me, copper.
Can you drive to this one? What did you make of McCaffrey?
There'll come a day, and it's coming very soon. We'll run him and the rest of his pinko buddies out of Los Angeles.
I meant as a suspect, Rusty.
I am just plugging in earphones to your face. I don't know why, but there's an apple in front of me. I put my charger through it, and I put my phone and I put my earpods in it, and they charged to 50, if I remember, because they were on for 50 minutes. And it was just other government. You guys, only 5% of you guys are subscribed to the channel. So if you don't subscribe, you won't miss out on free content. You'll miss
Hello,
out on
Rusty.
free content.
Two on your usual lane?
I'm Detective Feltz. Homicide.
You must be new. What's your shoe size?
This is business, Florence. You got a guy who works here by the name of Tiernan?
Sure we do. He's a pin setter. Clears the jams, works the gutters. Go right in. He'll be hopping around the lanes toward the back. He's a nice boy.
Thanks, ma'am. Let's go get him.
Down the left side of the alley.
That cherry pie was deep.
Boy.
Used to be indecisive. Well, I'm not so sure.
I'll never see the door.
Tiernan! LAPD! There!
What are you waiting for? Get after him!
We might go faster if we weren't carrying the extra weight. These are flashy cars to be parked outside a bowling alley.
The lanes attract a fast-living individual with money to burn, Cole.
Or a middle-aged individual with the need to feel virile.
Another runner. Well, at least we've got a suspect.
Why do they always run? I'm sure we've got the wrong person in more than one of these homicides, but they always seem to lam it.
You know, your theories are not airtight by any means, fellas.
Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close.
If this isn't the killer, we can at least get him for reckless endangerment.
That's unless he runs into a wall and saves us all the trouble. That's the end of that. It's about fucking time.
Put your hands in the air!
Why did they always see me run? in these cases. Every case I've done, there's been a dude that runs through a door.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Nice wax now. No, nobody's going to suspect a what? Rather than a case in the spare car, I've got 20 cars unlocked. I can spawn in 17. So I can make a little car roadblock, you know, a big line of cars once everybody's going. Come on, Sonny, from my AirPod.
The regulars might have something else to tell you, but I don't.
One more time, pal, and I'll break your fucking jaw.
Right. No.
You're behind the wheel. Can you drive to this one?
Oh, we always catch. Yeah. Perfect.
What can I do for you?
LAPD, Phelps and Galloway. We're making inquiries into the murder of Evelyn Summers.
Evelyn? She's dead?
You knew Evelyn Summers, Mr.
Robbins. Yes, I knew Evelyn. I was a good friend of her ex-husband. She kept some of her stuff here.
Can you show us, please?
Sure. Come this way.
He's not afraid to tell us the truth. Nice.
You got some fine stock there, Mr. Robbins. Well, you let us take some for the road, this case might get solved a lot quicker.
He's joking, Mr. Robbins.
She kept a bed here, but I probably shouldn't have let her. An alcoholic in a liquor store. That was never going to work out, was it?
We'll take a look around. She wasn't always such a loner. Rawlings bowling. Maybe Evelyn did something other than drink in her spare time. I'm guessing Evelyn hadn't held down a job for quite some time before she was killed. When exactly did Evelyn work in the pictures?
A few years ago. She worked in legal copyrights for music.
Evelyn was reading Aristotle?
Evelyn wasn't stupid. The only stupid thing about her was her need to drink.
And she was borrowing books from Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Nothing wrong with borrowing books. I'm not quite good at reading myself, so I might borrow it.
We're trying to account for Evelyn's movements yesterday.
She came by in the morning.
A social visit? To pick up some of her things?
She had a couple of bucks and bought a quart of rye.
Any idea where the money came from?
She didn't mention it, but she did say the booze was a present for a boy. She said they had been fighting and she had to make it up to him.
Were you and Evelyn close, Mr. Robbins?
Not many people will be sad she's gone. I'll be one of the few.
You can just somebody was gone, so I believe you.
We got the impression that Evelyn had been sleeping rough of late.
It became difficult for me to have her staying here. Her mother was trying to get her back on the straight and narrow. She's old now. And to be honest, you have to have a good reason to want to get back on.
Do you know a friend of Evelyn's by the name of McCaffrey?
Not personally.
Yeah,
She talked about McCaffrey.
Supposedly he fought in the International Brigade in Spain and in the miners' strikes back in Virginia.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Robbins.
No problem. Hey, I'd like to make arrangements for the funeral. You think I could get in touch with Evelyn's mother?
Put in a call to the watch commander at Central Station, Mr. Robbins. He'll be trying to reach the next of kin.
Thanks. Get the guy, huh? Evelyn never hurt anybody.
Car 11K, Car 11 King, KGPL.
11 King.
A message from Captain Donnelly. Return to Central. Code 2.
11 King, enter out. Let's not keep the man waiting, Phelps.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Actually, it doesn't sound too bad moving to LA. Except some people spy on you a lot, actually, in LA. Hopefully this job ends soon. Hopefully it ends with stopping all the crimes. And I want it to end as I got this saved today from shots fired. We've got 3 cars.
The captain is downstairs with Ray Pinker and Carruthers.
One little twist. She was 13 if she was a day.
Are you drunk, mister?
What's this about, Captain?
Ray and Mal have some concerns over the Henry and Muller cases, which I don't want aired outside of this room.
The evidence is solid, Captain.
I agree, Rusty. It's just that corpses keep piling up.
Copycats.
I've been banging the same drum. But the notes and the lipstick messages.
Evelyn Summers, Cartel Classic Carmine. Each woman, same brand, same color.
Teresa Terrelson didn't have a lipstick message.
Technically, you're right, Rusty. She didn't have any lipstick. But she did have a message. We found it beneath her dress, scraped with a sharp stick.
What did it say?
You sure you want to know?
Ray?
As far as we can be sure, it said cunt BD.
That's one way of looking at it.
Looking at what?
Cunt is all about access, Phelps. You're married, so yours is mortgaged. Some of us like to pay by installments. This guy doesn't like to pay at all.
Why are you so angry, Mal?
Because I just had to fire one of my assistants. He was a friend of Jameson's. God knows what he might have been up to.
Captain, we have good leads in the Summers case, but it's up to you to decide how we proceed.
Keep this under your hat for now. And follow up on Evelyn Summers. I want daily reports.
We got our orders. Back to the Summers case. Get an address for McCaffrey. He'll have blown the bar. I'll meet you outside.
The thing was, he was a really nice guy. I felt lousy tolerating him. The mouthpiece store strips off me at the grand jury. Case got thrown out. Now the DA wants.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address for a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Grosvenor McCaffrey. Apartment 6, 126 Yale Street, between Ord and Alpine.
Thank you.
Back to the McCaffrey's case. That was from the traffic. just to annoy me.
She was 13 if she was today.
Yeah, the bum took a swipe at me. Put him down.
We're getting the jack up there.
You're behind the wheel.
And where exactly are we going?
Oh yeah.
You know the way. You can drive. Can you drive to this one?
Let me pose a question.
Depends. What's it got to do with?
Morals. Would it bother you to put the wrong person away?
Depends.
On what?
On whether anyone except the poor son of a bitch in the slammer ever found out.
You're behind the wheel.
Exactly what I thought he was gonna shoot. Yeah, guys, here's a tip. Don't go to the shops. You might think, oh yeah, you need to go to shops to get food and all that. Shops are mobbed. This time the place all ragdolled. She was on the floor. What floor was it? What was it?
Doesn't look like anybody's home.
Terrible shame. Means there's nobody to let us in. You want to do the honors, Phelps?
Lisa's taking.
Don't think this is anything.
He said he was at home. He said he didn't know her. And we have the book.
Let's see Carruthers argue his way out of this one.
Is that you, Grosvenor? Who are you guys? What are you doing in here?
We're from the LAPD, ma'am. Do you know where we might find McCaffrey?
I'm his neighbor. Is he in trouble?
Look, lady, we need to find him, and in a hurry. Are you going to give me trouble?
He has a pigeon coop up on the roof. He spends his mornings up there when he's been drinking.
How do we get up there?
Down the hall and up the stairs.
Drunk and in command of a carrier pigeon. Surely we can write him up for that. A citation, at least.
Yeah, you guys are the
Solve that big case.
Grosvenor McCaffrey. Running on a hangover, McCaffrey? Sit down and we'll talk.
Do not lose
You
that
have
son of a
nowhere
bitch.
to
I'll
run.
go get our wheels.
Hey, this isn't New York.
You nearly knocked me down.
Grosvenor McCaffrey. Running on a hangover, McCaffrey? Sit down and we'll talk.
I'll go get our wheels.
Exactly.
There he is. See him?
You a runner, McCaffrey? Stay and fight the good fight.
Oh, I need my gun.
Give it up, LAPD.
If a car stops, I'm actually the best.
Get that bomb.
You're under arrest on the assault of...
Can't we talk about this?
Will that show you who's boss?
We need to get downtown and wrap this thing up. It's got to be McCaffrey. Unless Tiernan set him up. You don't think that asshole Jameson could have done it, do you? Whoever did it. At least it wasn't that Dahlia fuck.
How do you know that McCaffrey didn't do the Dahlia?
We have a list of over 200 suspects. His name was never on it.
I was like...
If you think the list is exhaustive, Rusty, who am I to argue?
Listen, let's just work the case at hand, shall we? Then we can sit down and put all the puzzle pieces together at a later date.
I'll hold you to that.
Can you drive to this one?
Wow. That sure looks like a beauty.
You're behind the wheel.
Even though I said there were parking alleys, Mr. Andy.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
These games are just so fun. That's some channel. There's got to be games from. My content's just messed up, but not as messed up as Chili's. You go search him up. And Childies.
You sure you can make it stick with one of these suspects, gentlemen?
It's either McCaffrey or Tiernan, sir. I think Jameson is an aberration.
All right. I'll deal with that degraded lunatic myself. He's got some fearful retribution coming. Tiernan isn't one, McCaffrey isn't two. I want a confession from one of them. Don't fail me, young fellas.
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
You told us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her.
So she was your follower?
That's one way of describing her. She was like a stray dog, desperate for a master.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
And you have someone who can corroborate your story?
Unfortunately, no.
It's either going to be you or Tiernan, Grosvenor.
Make it stick, detective. The party has good lawyers.
Let's go to interview one.
Heavens to Betsy!
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Sounds like half an answer to me, Tiernan. Were you sleeping with her?
That's none of your business.
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at her once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it?
She wanted something of his.
We either hang this on you or McCaffrey. You better give us something.
Well, McCaffrey's been in trouble with the law before. I mean, he always makes out it was some kind of labor dispute. But, you know, I'm not so sure.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
If you don't give me some reason to think differently about this, Tiernan, I'm gonna have to go to the DA.
I drank half a bottle of scotch. I don't remember a goddamn thing.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
No, we use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Yeah.
Evelyn was beaten to death with a lug wrench. We found a wrench at McCaffrey's apartment.
You see? It was McCaffrey. He had nothing but hatred for me and Evelyn.
Evelyn was missing a ring from her right hand.
That's strange. She always wore it. Big black circular disc with a white E in the middle. It was made from an old typewriter key, present from the prop department at her old movie studio.
We're going to talk to McCaffrey. You need to think about what you've told us, Tiernan. You're not in the clear.
Spineri says he'll sing, but only if I guarantee he walks.
Did you don't have nothing to say to me?
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need the jacket on a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Just a moment, Detective. McCaffrey was formerly under surveillance by the Red Squad. Convictions for petty theft. Dishonorable discharge from the Army during training at Syracuse. Assault on a local woman. Says he almost beat the woman to death.
Thanks for your help.
The captain's in
You were in the war?
Yes, I was. Seeing the things that I saw, it changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
You're holding out on us, McCaffrey. What other trouble have you been in?
I was in a few labor disputes before the war. I didn't use my real name.
It's cool. We put one of these kids in jail. So, one of these kids in jail.
I want to make homicide. I mean, you know you've made it if you got that desk.
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
You told us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her.
Doesn't look good, Grosvenor. It's either you or Tiernan from where we're sitting.
Personally, I think Evelyn is better off, but I had nothing to do with it.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
And you have someone who can corroborate your story?
Unfortunately, no.
It's either going to be you or Tiernan, Grosvenor.
Make it stick, detective. The party has good lawyers.
They weren't even his prints, and he still confessed.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Sounds like half an answer to me, Tiernan. Were you sleeping with her?
That's none of your business.
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey.
Evelyn stole it.
She wanted something of his.
You don't like McCaffrey, do you, Tiernan?
He's full of the common man routine, but he props up a bar like the rest of us. Evelyn thought he was going to be a great novelist. He had nothing but vitriol for her.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
Come on, Tiernan. Either you killed her or she left the hotel. Why did she leave?
Look, I may have yelled at her. I was very drunk. It's hard to remember.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
We use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Evelyn was beaten to death with a lug wrench. We found a wrench at McCaffrey's apartment.
You see? It was McCaffrey. He had nothing but hatred for me and Evelyn.
Evelyn was missing a ring from her right hand.
That's strange. She always wore it. Big black circular disc with a white E in the middle. It was made from an old typewriter key, a present from the prop department at her old movie studio.
We're going to talk to McCaffrey. You need to think about what you've told us, Tiernan. You're not in the clear. Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need the jacket on a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Just a moment, Detective. McCaffrey was formerly under surveillance by the Red Squad. Convictions for petty theft. Dishonorable discharge from the Army during training at Syracuse. Assault on a local woman. Says he almost beat the woman to death.
Thanks, ma'am.
Coroner says it's going to take at least a week to get an ID.
You were in the war?
Yes, I was. Seeing the things that I saw. It changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
So that's the extent of your criminal record?
That's right. I'm fighting for social change. I'm no criminal.
Multi-accused.
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective.
Guys, that's it for today's episode.